Thundercats! Oh! Thundercats are on the move. Thundercats are loose. Feel the magic, hear the roar. Thundercats are loose. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Thunder, thunder, Thundercats. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Thundercats are on the move. Thundercats are loose. Feel the magic, hear the roar. Thundercats are loose. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. 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 Thunder, Thundercats. Oh! Thunder, thunder, Thundercats. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Thunder, thunder, Thundercats. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Thundercats are on the move. Thundercats are loose. Feel the magic, hear the roar. Thundercats are loose. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Thunder, thunder, Thundercats. Thunder, 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 Thundercats.
Knight Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. Michael Knight, a young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, in a world of criminals who operate above the law.
I have to say that is one of the coolest songs. To be honest,
Which
I think
one?
that's really, yeah, Knight Rider. It's like, you know,
Oh yeah,
I always,
the intro on that was always so cool.
yeah, I mean, like, just, I mean, the music, it sort of all sort of sinks in with Mike Knight, Michael Knight, David Hasselhoff. I thought he
Right.
was the coolest, right? Because like I had my jacket. I went from like Happy Days Fonzarelli jacket to Knight Rider jacket, and my Mikey bought me a jacket like that. You know?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was a cool show. It was when I was a kid, I couldn't miss an episode. I probably missed a bunch of episodes, but it was a fun show to watch. That and
Yeah, I mean,
the A Team was really
yeah,
good.
yeah. I think 18, like all that shows were like my favorite. Like I remember
Mm-hmm.
crying when mum, because I had to go to boarding school, right? I was going to be shipped off to boarding school, and mum was like, yeah, they won't. Oh, I don't know if it was mum or dad. They said, "Oh, you have to go to bed early, right? 7:30. You wouldn't be able to watch A Team or Automan or Night Ride." And I was like really distraught because I was so into it. And then I got there and they're like, "Oh, we don't go to bed until about 9:30." I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, thank goodness,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saved. Yeah.
They had
How's
a
your
they had
weekend,
a
by the way?
reboot of Knight Rider in 2008,
Yeah.
where they put him in a Mustang GT, which is one of my favorite cars. So I thought it was really cool. And Kit was voiced by Val Kilmer before he got
Oh
really,
wow, I
really
didn't know
sick.
that.
Yeah. The show was
Okay.
not very good. It was not a very good
Right.
reboot. But it was pretty cool that Val Kilmer was the voice for it. And I enjoyed that. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that aspect of it, but the show overall was not a great show. It was not a good reboot, but yeah, Knight Rider was a fun trip, back in the day.
So it's 2019, right? They put out in 2019. Then there was like a 2015 show. I know
There
there's a
was a
short in 2019. Sorry, my
there was a
bad.
2009 or 2008 was the
2008. Yeah.
reboot. Yep. Yep. They were doing a bunch of reboots back then on TV shows. That was the same year they did they did Knight Rider, and then they did
Yeah.
V, and then they also
Right.
did
And
American.
Vinny
Then they
was
did a
good.
reboot of Then they did an American or a reboot of American Gladiators.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was all they were all fun. So, how's your week been going?
It's been tough. I because I did a whole lot of like live streams with the art, right? With like doing a sculpture. That meant
Mm-hmm.
like I sat for like long periods of time doing live streaming because I wanted to like utilize both doing that artwork and using live streaming, and
Mm-hmm.
so that way I could kill two birds with one stone kind of thing.
Right.
And so because of my spine injury, the last 2 weeks has been really tough on the spine, and like even now my neck's a bit stuck. And so the last 4 days I've been like in pain and stuff. I had to stop. I was supposed to have like a meeting with Hawk, and I had to put that off because that meant just wasn't. I was more concentrating on the pain, and pain would be distracting. And
Right.
usually when somebody's in pain, you kind of like you get agitated easily, right? So you're temperamental a bit more, and I'm usually temperamental anyway. When I'm and so if I'm in like a bit more in a pain situation, I'll get more a bit aggressive because I'm trying to like get off that. So I thought like I just won't do it. So I didn't do anything for a week with streaming or anything like that. Just like lay in bed and just did artwork and just did posts. But it's all in all like the last 2 weeks have been brilliant. Like for like getting like classic toys, right? Like I mean, let me just put this aside. So I found Chip
Nice.
with the
California
remote
Highway
chip.
Patrol. Yep.
I
That's
haven't
cool,
tried
man.
it out. As soon as I
Okay.
saw it, I'm like, I'm taking that, right? Didn't care the
Yeah.
price or anything. And I was like, no, oh, it's Chip. it's got the chip thing
Yeah.
there. CHP. And I was like, oh, it's a remote. Oh, it just blew me away. I think it was like about maybe $7 or $8 because it's broken. It's got a piece broken off it.
Yeah.
And I piece there.
It's
I
missing
don't know
the
if it's
driver as well.
driver. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. But I mean, like something like this. This is what 30 years old or something. I don't know, maybe 40.
40,
Uh,
40 plus. Yeah.
yeah, I haven't even checked too much about it, but I tried to search online. And I couldn't find anything on it like this size. Right? I could
Okay.
find all the little ones, but not this size. So it's kind of annoying. Made in Korea when they used to make good quality stuff elsewhere, not in China, right? This is before
Right.
the communism sort of took over. That commercial. What is it called? When China became like the world's factory, basically. This is when
Right.
you had Taiwan, you had Hong Kong, you had India, you had Laos, Vietnam, right?
Oh yeah.
Bangladesh, and of course Korea, South Korea, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could have all your toys and qualities, and they were quality, right? They were really good quality. Like look at
Oh
this
yeah.
40 potato. It's still, the only
That's
thing
pretty
that broke
cool.
was this little what is that part called there? Just
It's an exhaust pipe. Exhaust.
But off that, like off here, that's it. Whole exhaust, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
It's coming off the headers, which remits all the toxic gas, and it comes out the tailpipes.
So the interesting thing here is it got on and off here, and it's got an on and off here at the back as well. Oh wait, hold on.
One might be for lights, and one might be for the remote control.
True, that could be it. But yeah, so, and I did what you taught me last time, right? Check the back to make sure 330 or whatever ohms or whatever it is, and you go, oh yeah, this is like
the megahertz.
This is a 27.14 megahertz, right?
Right.
So
make sure it matches on the car, on the truck, or whatever.
Yeah, and then you look at that. So I've learned, right? So I'm do that. And the other thing I found was this from
what's
1990.
that from?
This is a laser tag gun, which is part of like you have like something like you put it on, and
right.
You can choose the amount of times you can shoot somebody, right? So it's like a machine gun or one shot, a triple shot or whatever. But it also feels like it becomes like a game.
Oh, that's
almost
cool.
Like with those people. And it's like there's this like loader or whatever thing, and then you got a slide thing here. Lots of fiddly little batteries and stuff. But also this, I almost feel like this comes with something else that's missing, where like a cartridge, which gives you a new set of gameplay. But check out the lights system.
Oh wow, that's neat.
So I haven't really, I wish I could find the other part to it, because that'd be really cool. Like figure out what else. But it's by Tiger, so that's the brand name. So I had a look around a little while back to see who was putting out, what was available. But man, there's some classic games that like I never saw, because things like this, toys, because growing up, we were kind of like the lower middle class,
right?
So you weren't like running out finding toys all the time, right? And so more thing you're concerned about was your education, clothes on your back, and were you eating right, not worrying about like what if you got the flashiest toy. So yeah, how's your week been, by the way?
It's been pretty good. I actually got some. I was able to get some toys in this week as well. I made some good sales on eBay this week, and so it allowed me to, buy a couple things for myself, so and still have some good income. So I'll show you what I got this week.
Cool.
I got
hit me up.
Things.
Give me your eBay chat. So I mean, in the private chat, and I'll put it up. We'll have a look at your eBay. See what you got on.
Let me.
That's good. Something we should be doing more often.
Oh yeah. Well, if they go to my website, 121gigawatts.com, they can hit my eBay from there. But give me. I'll make sure you got it today. So I got this this week, which is Cobra Commander version 3, and he came complete with his gun, and his battle armor, and then he has his little hose right here. This is always missing in all of those figures, and he came with his file card too. So I got his file card as well. So it's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Got that. And then the other things I got were
When was it released?
That was released in 1987 originally. Right. And as a kid, that was the first Cobra Commander I ever had. So when I was this was the first Cobra Commander that I had, but it was version 3. And then I got these guys. These are not vintage, but they're made from the molds of the vintage figures. And these are battle android troopers from G.I. Joe. Okay. And they have different arm accessories that you can put on. You can take the arms off and put on a different arm. That's so now cool. He has like the So this one's cool. And these ones are done from a guy that does these things are called Black Major. And they do some of the G.I. Joe figures, and this one is glow in the dark. These ones are glow in the dark, and I went ahead and got 3 of them, but I could have 3 in the glow in the dark figures. So I was kind of excited about that. Friend of mine. So
are you keeping did you buy 1 or 2 for yourself and the rest, the other one to sell, or what was the deal there?
Thinking about keeping all of them, in all honesty. They're just so cool. Some of those I've been going through. I've been because it's so slow inside the store. Yeah. I do more gaming and more D&D and Magic in the store than I really do comic books and toys. Yeah. So what I've been doing lately is making more of a presence known on my eBay account and my actual website. So and then that way. Yeah. I
want to also talk about the fact that why it's slow, right? Because you guys just had a massive fire out there, right? And that's
the largest wildfire in United States history.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was very close to the town that I live in. It was very, very close, actually. Yeah. And at one point when we had the fires, that night the biggest night that we were having the biggest problems, they closed all of the roads going out of the town. Right. We couldn't even leave if we wanted to. There was just because that's how the fires were going over the streets and all that stuff. So it was pretty intense. I know a few people that were affected by the fire, lost their homes and all that stuff. So it's been pretty significant here. And luckily not a lot of people lost their lives and not a lot of people were injured, but it has been a pretty intense ordeal, when we first went through it, but everybody's doing better. And the other reason that the store is slow is that I live in a town that's very, very, very few people in the town,
Yeah.
So that's another reason that it's slow inside the store. So I extend my reach using the internet and to eBay, and I'm not as I keep on leave my head sometimes. So I'm not 100% sure on my website in reality right now, and I'm not really 100% sure on my eBay site right now. But it's just one of those things, you just have. There's just so much I got going on too, as well. I help manage properties here and stuff. So had a pretty busy week this week, but it's fun. Wouldn't have it any other way, really. The only other way I'd really like to have it if it's just more people coming in so I can share it with them and have that kind of experience. But right now it's fine. We had our first karaoke night last night.
Right.
So we did karaoke we do karaoke once a month. I'm trying to fill in a lot more event type of stuff. We have we have youths here and kids and stuff like that. I want to kind of present a place where they can come and just have fun and not get into any trouble. So we had karaoke last night, and I do my monthly movies. I do Magic the Gathering tournaments or leagues. Right. And then I have three separate D&D campaigns going on in the store. Oh. So, So things are happening, things are popping, people are recognizing us. So
Yeah, I think building like it takes a while to build, and I think one of the things like I remember helping us out was like the first time like on the like when we opened, right, we had a barbecue kind of thing like sausage sizzle, so, bread and sausage, whatever you want to call it, like, and then like
right,
I think about 4 months later we did it again. So
okay,
like you kind of like it kind of like a community day type thing where people
mm-hmm.
come to see what you're doing, but that kind of can be a bit more a bit stressful because you also got to watch the store, and you got to by the fact that you got a gaming sort of situation set up, you're building a community there as well anyway, and so you kind of you can kind of liaison with them to say, hey, can you watch the store, or can I watch the store while you do the barbecue, or something like
Right,
that. And so just outside the outside the front, whatever, if you've got a parking lot, right? So if you've got a car space in front of your place, you can just put a little grill out, like you guys call it grills, we call it barbecue here, right? But you know what we're talking
right,
about. So and then like so that sort of also always kind of brought in about 30-40 people, like just that day. And that's and so you just have soft drinks and go, hey, look, your dollar soft drinks, whatever you want to say, whatever is feasible there for you guys. And it's like one of the like it kind of draws people that you wouldn't think would come,
right,
be interested in a comic place. And I remember getting people that weren't even interested in the store, but they came and then they found that their friends were there, right? Oh, hey, what the hell are you doing here? It's like, well, I didn't even know you were into this. It's like, yeah, it's just, well, why don't you tell me? It's like, well, you're not, I didn't see you interested in talking about that. So why would I be interested in talking to you about it? So that sort of thing, it becomes this, it becomes this place where strangers who are friends meet over games,
oh yeah,
and I found that it happened quite a lot. And I think a lot of like the people that like they basically ended up running the gaming site are now running their own store, which is really cool because it's like just seeing that blossom into this amazing thing has just been just like it's kind of like an invisible pat on the back saying, hey, look what you started, and and look where people are. Because I think that's something that people forget is that like people if they find some ownership in what you're doing, they will also help you as well out of the goodness of their heart because they want to be part of that. They want to be part of your success. And I've noticed
right,
that a lot when when I was building stuff. And I've watched that happen quite a bit with like even with the convention, right? Out of that came an amazing podcasting team, and that that was really cool. And now they've become really well established, and it's just stuff like that. You're just seeing all these things because of just putting my neck out and watching that. And that's the same thing with where you are, right?
mm-hmm.
Putting your neck out, and a store can become more than just a business in that way.
Oh
It
yeah,
can be like it can be a community hangout, and over time you'll find that parents will come in, and bring the young ones along and go, oh, I can trust this guy. He's been here.
oh
The
yeah,
other people trust him, and so the word gets around that it's a safe place for the kids. And then also, it's really cool to see that. I think it's something that a lot of businesses that are more like outside, like
mm-hmm.
franchises, don't get, is that when you're a community-based small business, that you live there, that you have a home there, that you're part of people, the community, you get to have a bit more influence, a bit more love for that place that you're in, rather than just, oh, come and give me a bit of money and leave now, right?
Definitely,
And
definitely. Well,
yeah, and that sort of it's kind of,
it's been important for me to kind of get out into the community a little bit and then make myself known. Obviously, make myself known, but also just share things that I love. Last week, also for the opening of the new Ghostbuster movie that came out,
yeah.
it had been 2 weeks ago now, right? I went and I have a full-on proton pack and Ghostbusters outfit. And I
Yeah.
went to the movie theater and I just sat in the theater in the lobby area, handing out pamphlets for the store and whatnot. So yeah, that's the
Yeah.
and let everybody know I was there. That's my website. From there you can go and you can get to all of my sorry, the social media pages. You can get to my eBay account. We're working on the store right now, so
Right.
that once we get the store up and running, get the some of the sorry, my brain's not working today. The inventory
Catalog.
situated.
Yeah.
We can get it on there and stuff. Oh, I guess the store is up. And so yeah, that's the eBay store. So
Right.
yeah, I got some cool stuff there, and if you reach out to me on any of this stuff, if you're wanting any of this stuff, you can always talk to me and talk about pricing. See if there's something that you're wanting to, get a discount on or something of that nature. And we'll definitely more than happy to entertain that. Don't have a ton of stuff on there right now, but it is what it is. I had just sold a few things as well. So these Mana Crypt I had them graded, so they're actually pretty nice, and they're all encapsulated, and nobody will ever be able to touch them again unless you break them open. So
what are the Mana Crypts? Is this like Magic the Gathering?
Yeah, they're Magic the Gathering. They're a rare card. It's a I got a 9.0. So I that's the price that I'm selling it at right now. As everything is, it is negotiable. I do want to let people know that when you are on eBay, you got to remember that I have to pay fees on top of everything else. So that $400 that I got for it right now is not necessarily what I'm going to get in my pocket. So
it's the same thing that people don't understand about crowdfunding as well. Like it's understandable, right? Like it's understandable that you're using somebody else's platform. They have to pay money to keep these platforms working. And I think a lot of times people forget that, yes, that's why you have to pay fees, because or else you got to go create your own, and then you got to create your own sort of marketing behind it to promote it and stuff. And so, yeah, I think a lot of people are understandable in that. It's only people that like really don't understand business will be going, why?
Oh yeah.
But I think,
So I have two of these cards. I have one that's a 9.0, which is the one you got up, and I have a 9.5 as well. So yeah, they're both very nice cards. And so I try to just help out everybody. And I hope everybody can see the store and see that I'm putting out the effort, and I want to.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, I picked up from the last time we talked, I picked up 2 tubs, the 20-gallon tubs, for storage. I picked up 2 of those filled with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, old school, vintage turtles. Had the party wagon in it, had the pizza thrower in it, had a bunch of the other figures. I got to get those online. I got to get those up and running, and also I got two big tubs of Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, vintage ones. So, and I have supposedly I have a buyer that's wanting to buy quite a few of those as well. And then I got some Buffy the Vampire Slayer stuff as well. So I got some really good vintage stuff coming in that came in, and waiting for the right person to come and say, "Oh, wow, I need that," So
yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like, I mean, like, you always find someone is looking for something to fill the gap that they're missing. And this is a time that you can actually do that because of places like your store and your eBay store, right? Because people will be able to search and find it and stuff like that. I mean, it's such a, I mean, that's the thing about having the internet and access to all these sites, is that you're able to, find information and stuff that's not available, that wasn't available before, until you had to get a catalog, and you had to pay for that catalog to advertise your, and then you have to find if anybody's interested in that catalog or not, and there's some amazing stuff that's that's available now just because of, what is that called, like the Glass, Google Glass. You look on it and it's there. It's not always
Google
100%. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Searching by sight, but I mean sometimes it's really helpful as well. I mean, I was able to
I get a lot of people. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Carry on.
I get a lot of people that come in wanting to sell me something from their collection. Yeah. And they're, I went to Google. I Googled this thing, and it's I don't get people from their collection. I get people that find stuff, and they do a quick Google search, and they're like, "Oh, I found this on Google. It's worth this." And I'm like, and I go to my sources, and I find like the real legit price, like what people are really going to buy it for. Yeah. And a lot of times they don't match. They don't match at all, and I'm like, and then of course I can't pay them the price that it's selling for, and they, a lot of times I send people out, that are very upset, I did have one of the coolest things. I came into the store and immediately it left the same day that I picked it up. I picked it up and it was out the door within about 2 hours. I picked up 2 comic books that were golden age comic books. So Superman number 58. Okay. And then and I got
is it 58 or 53? 58?
No, it was Superman 58, I believe it was. And then I had I got the pictures on it. Hold on just a second. Let me look at my pictures, see which ones they are. But I have a collector here that collects comic books, and he came in and traded me some books that some other book. And what I had to do is I had to analyze, like, okay, yeah, these are very valuable, and if I have to sell them, how long is it going to take to sell? And then how long is it going to take to, how much cleaning, how much, and all that stuff. So it's Superman number 53 and Batman number 59. Batman number 59. Both of them were key issues. And if you look them up, you'll see. But they're high dollar books. I picked them up for pennies on the dollar. Okay. And my collector traded me a bunch of some books. Let me see. Yeah, number 53. Yeah, I had that one in my store. Wow. Yeah. You scroll down and you can see what it's worth. Maybe. It was about it's about a $400 to $500 book in the condition that I had it in, I think.
So you're probably looking around about here. Not right.
Yeah, right there. Yep. And
so what's the condition? Would they say here? It sucks. They don't tell you what it's supposed to be like.
Mm-hmm. So the problem, like I said, the problem that I was having, not the problem, it wasn't a problem. It was cool. It's a nice problem to have, but I'm just wondering how long I was going to have to sit on those comic books until they were sold.
What was the Batman one?
The Batman was number 59.
Detective or?
Nope, Batman. Batman number 59.
59, volume 1. Doesn't want to do that. Let's try that then.
Yep, that one right there.
This one?
Yep, the yellow one. Yep. Yep, the first appearance of Deadshot.
Right. Mm-hmm. So where you at with this one? Was the same level, about 2 point?
Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, they're both pretty beat up. And those prices right there are graded prices that you're seeing. So that's after they've been graded and encapsulated. So the guy brought me in. I paid a total of $30 for both books.
Shit.
$30 United States, USA. And then
Flip
I
back
sold
to
it. I flipped them for about for $100. He gave me $100 in cash and about $300, $400 worth of comic books,
right.
some graded issues and stuff like that, and then a couple things from my private collection that I turned around and are having graded now. So yeah, it was kind of a cool little deal. We have a pretty bad homeless problem here, or that kind of stuff, and I get a lot of people bringing me stuff that they find in dumpsters.
Right.
And this person found a bunch of comic books in a dumpster, and he brought them to me. And those were the two that I wanted out of them. And I had, and I offered him what I offered him, and he took it, and I'm not, but I didn't.
No, I've been in this situation myself, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, if we go back to like 90s, right? When I came out of when I came back from the city, which is Auckland, and I came back to Whangarei, and there was a comic store here, and I was getting $20 for my, my X-Men books, like the first appearance of such and such, and because that's what I needed at the time. So I can't go back and go, oh, well, you ripped me off. No, I accepted that. So
Right.
a lot of people don't understand that. Like, it's up to the seller to accept what you win or
Right.
you lose, because that's at the end of the day, you agree to the price. Don't go away being a sour grape about it afterwards. I mean, I did the same thing. I sold, the entire set of 618 to
Right.
6 with those Batman, which has got that his brother Thomas, whatever, comes so-called Thomas guy with the with the wrap on his head. It's a Jim Lee run. There's like about 12 issue maxi run. First appearance. Didn't know at the time. So it's gone. Sold it in the comic shop because I needed to sell it, right? And I think but one of the greatest things, I've never sold my X23 volume,
Very cool.
first appearance, second volume, and third volume, right? So I've got
Right.
all those. So which is basically so-called Wolverine's daughter, right? You see her in that whole movie. Logan
right.
took her off.
Well, it was the gentleman that came in. I mean, he was obviously a homeless person, and I'm not trying to take advantage of him.
Yeah.
But I had some distinct information when he brought him in.
Yeah.
They were dirty. They were nasty. They were beat up, and he told me how much he wanted for them, and that was the price that he asked for them, and that's what I gave him. I wanted to get. He had more books. I wanted to get all of them, but he wasn't willing to, separate from all of those. So I said, okay, well, just take those with you. I don't, I can't. We can't meet it on a price.
Right.
And in this business, it's kind of strange, and you've probably gone through it because you've had a comic shop at the same time. There's a lot of stuff that you let go that you don't jump on because you don't have the money for it. You don't have the funds to like, oh yeah, I'll get that right now, and or you made a big purchase just prior to that person coming in, and you're like, well, I'm tapped out. I can't buy it, even though I want it. I can't do it right now. So, and my biggest fear with these books was just having them sit in the store and them not doing anything for a long amount of time before I was able to recoup that money.
Yeah. And people don't understand like the overheads and shit that you got to do when you're in business, right? And the whole thing at the end of the day is a bird. What is it like? A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, right?
Yep.
And that's all you got to go off when you're in business. That's what you got to think about. Like the other week, I picked up a bag full, about a kg full of Minecraft, stuff.
Nice.
It was just a bag of Lego, real Lego, $10. The week before, I bought like the capsule with like the Bionicles.
Yeah.
And like those pieces missing, and I was bummed out because I bought two $5 each. And the week before was like there was pieces missing, and I was like, can't do nothing with this, And then $10 a week later, and this is New Zealand $10, which is like about $6 US, right? Or $7. And then I find that I got three of these in that one bag. you know,
Oh,
and I didn't
nice.
even know. So I'm looking it up, and some of the pieces were missing. So I got this side, and then there was extra pieces. So I just added some other bits from other ones, knockoff ones, and made the second pieces, right? So these are worth around in New Zealand around about $150 per bag. So
Mm.
each one of these are worth $150 because Legos, you know, it's almost a gold, you know, silver, whatever price. But I got 3 of them and I got $10 worth
Oh,
of
very
3.
good.
And I'm like, you know, building it, I'm going, oh, you know, use the Google Glass thing, right? The thing to see what they were. And then also this whoever had this came up with figures as well. There's about half a dozen, about 8 or half a dozen figures. Oh, like sorry, about a dozen figures as well. So you have to,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I knew it was Minecraft because of the figures. But I didn't know these were Minecraft. You know, until I spent a whole week lying on my back just building them because I was in pain and using this as a distraction. But I mean, like, it's so cool to be able to like just, you know, build this and out of nothing, and then you find that, you know, the value of it. I'm like, well, I'm not going to sell it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep it up. I don't like selling stuff. I don't at all now.
Mm-hmm.
Since the comic shop, I just don't,
Yeah.
because I don't know when something's going to be of value and something's not going to be of value, and I'm not willing to take a chance on it because I'm at a stage where I don't need to sell stuff. I'm
Right.
okay. And so finding something, you know, finding 3 of these for about $10,
Mm-hmm.
you know, at a hospice shop, because next time there won't be that much,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. And so being able to find something worth around about $300 for $10 is freaking brilliant, you know.
Oh, it's
But one thing
great.
I did also find was this. Check this
Oh,
out. You
the
know,
Hulk mask.
yeah, Hulk mask, but like it lights up.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, it's, you know, you hang on the wall, and I'm trying to find a place where I can hang on the wall and do that. So what I've been trying to do is find. I've been researching on YouTube where you can turn this into a USB thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So rather than being on a, they actually have a whole lot of, you know, I think I have saved on my channel there, you know, under, you know, information thing or playlist full of information. And so there's this guys like using like Christmas tree battery packs, you know, and turning them into USB. So I could actually, you know, once I get a solder thing, that's all I need is soldering iron. Once I get that, I can learn how to do that. And when I first got it, I thought it was only the eyes that lit up. You know, it was like, oh,
Right.
it's only the eyes. The next thing you know, take it apart, put the battery in, and it's like the whole freaking head lights up. And I'm like,
Oh,
that is
wow.
so cool, right? I'm like, seriously, I don't know how much this was worth, right, when it came out, but it's around about, there is no age on this. 3dlightfx.com, 3 AAAs, and that's about it. This product is not a toy, you know, but it doesn't say what year it's, oh no, hold on. Is it 199? Oh no, it's like Mississippi. Michigan, right? So it's made in 195 Statesman Drive, Michigan, Ontario. Is that Ontario? ON?
Ontario.
Yeah, Canada.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So 3dlightfx.com. Let's have a look at that site, because I mean, these are really cool things to, you know, that's what I mean, like about having technology, right? Being able to lights, is it Light FX? I mean, being on the internet, you'd be able to, like, you know, find things so quickly because of our modern era. I wonder if these guys still do these things. Yeah, look, they're still around. Let's have a look. So this is all the stuff they do.
See. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
look at that.
Mm-hmm. Your Hulk is right down. Yeah, probably the Hulk down there.
Oh, look at that. What is that one? Oh, look at that.
Yep.
These are cool. The fact that they've, you know, kind of like coming out the wall,
Mm-hmm.
they look really good.
It's pretty neat.
That's like my one, right? except for it's Mutant Ninja Turtle. Was that Raphael with the purple?
That's Donatello with the purple.
Donatello.
Donatello.
Oh, even
Dora the
Dora the
Explorer.
Explorer. That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty neat.
Spider-Man. Do your whole room of Spider-Man. Optimus.
Yep. Darth Vader.
Yeah. So that's something I've been looking into recently. Is like lights. I think I bought a because one of the cool things is like, when you're creating comics and stuff like that, you think about merchandising and stuff. So when I saw this, I was thinking that's a great way to do something. But I mean, for me, I want it's not something that I'm at a level where I can afford to do something this big. But when you really think about it, like let me see, we got some Hasbro stuff, right? Look at that. You've also got a I'm thinking more in the sense of like, if I did I could buy a light, something like a light. I think I've got one somewhere, and then you could put your own little image on it. Like you get I've got a friend whose works in printing, which is Art of Evans. Like his artwork's all over the place. Just if you look on Instagram and Facebook, Art of Evans, you'll find his work. And so he does this. He works at a printing place and signwriting place, and they print out stickers and stuff. And so we've done a lot with that. So through him for our convention and stuff like that, as well as for just like merchandising, doing stickers.
Right.
But you could actually like create your own light box and put your put that on the back of it, right? I mean on the front of it, and then light it up with a battery pack. And so these things, I always think of like what when you come to like that's something that I've been talking with Art Victim, right, over the last couple of weeks about like merchandising promotion. And when you see big companies like that do that, you kind of think, how can I, as a small creator, do something just like that, but on a lower level?
Right.
In my, like even for you, right? If you're doing like your store, how do you try to merchandise your store, and you don't have the money to do a LCD thing? So you could just build a light box and get a $10 sticker made up, and boom, now you got it.
Well, I used to do signs and lighting for my career, and so doing that was very no brainer for me. To kind of come up with that idea. I did in Orlando, Florida, when they opened up a lot of stuff over there in Disney. I did some sign work at Disney World, Universal Studios, all sorts of stuff. And then I also did one of the projects I was very proud of was the Disney's Wide World of Sports sign out there when they first opened that up back in 2001 or 2001. So seeing that, doing kind of like a light box or something like that on the scale that you're at is pretty cool, is a pretty neat idea, and not terribly hard to do, and have it where you can wire it into the electric where it stays on all the time whenever you turn the lights on. Yeah. So yeah, it's fun.
Cool. I've got a Deadpool face. My brother-in-law bought me a little while ago, the mask thing. So that's been my night light forever. Like for about 2 years, I have it plugged up to the USB to the computer, so I don't hit myself moving around this maze, right? So so that's that sort of got me started. But also, one thing that's really big news right now, and is this whole thing with I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's going to be a movie based on a Evangeline, right? And I'm gonna bring up
Evangeline.
Yeah, comic book character by that Rob Liefeld created, and that the first artist on that was John Stinsman, who I've interviewed. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have a look at have a listen to John here on this interview. It's about 11 minutes long. And then we'll go and look at the movie thing. So that's one of the things on the chat for today. But so this is John's work here. Let me just pop that off there for a bit. So this is John's artwork here. This goes back a while, right, in the 90s. But this is Evangeline here with Glory.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So she's got that. She's got a white suit there. Sometimes she has a black suit, but so that's John's artwork, and then you got Marlo as a colorist on that, and so they've just announced that right now. So what I'm going to do is, let's listen to John talking about creating this, and then we'll go and have a look at the actual news on who's involved with it, and you'll be quite surprised. I'm not sure. Are you aware about that news?
I've never heard of the character, so it's
Right.
everything is news to me on this one.
Okay, so
but it's a female character, and it looks like from the 90s, right?
Yeah, it's Rob Liefeld. So
Is she? Is it a she's super powered, or is it just a vigilante?
she's
type
an
of thing?
angel. She's a kind of like a fallen
Okay.
angel.
Okay.
They're gonna have a blurb on there, but let's have a listen to what what John's talking about here. So and John Stinson is locked in here with me today. Like all you other folks out there in the world, where are you? And wherever you are, welcome and thank you for joining us today. And I'm quite excited for this one because I actually have a piece of work that's very precious to me because it's one of the ones that I actually have that's like this. And I was quite surprised to see that John, this person I've recently met on Facebook through Niobe Comics, as that person, right? Who created the artwork and stuff. And John, before we go ahead, do you want to just because I know I cut you off because you were talking about Evangeline. I just wanted to go back on that. Not part of the interview, but tell us a bit about Evangeline because I'm holding her up here, and I was just saying off air that I have a large poster of someone which I thought was just a cosplayer, and this and this poster, and that was it of doing Evangeline. But who was Evangeline?
She was based off a girl named Kathy Christian, who was she and I actually worked together because I did Vampirella a year or two prior to Evangeline, and she was the Vampirella model. And so we would do conventions together, me as the artist and her as the model, dressed as Vampirella for Harris Comics at the time, which is who owned what was publishing Evangeline or Vampirella, pardon me. And then she just, I left and I didn't really know what had happened to her. And then all of a sudden she popped up, and the way I found out that she was around again was because she was dating or engaged to the publisher of Image Comics at the time, who was Rob's best friend from high school at the time. And I say at the time because things have changed over the years with everybody. I found out, that they were based. Rob had gotten with his friend Tony Libido, who was the publisher of Image Comics, to sort of come together and create this character of Evangeline based off of Kathy. It wasn't so much that it was based on her in any way that it sort of went into her as a person. It was just she was going to portray the character at conventions and on covers and things like that. And I think she had gained a following when she did Vampirella, so she was very popular as Evangeline as well. And she would be with us at the conventions doing signings and stuff like that. So it was fun.
I mean, just thinking about her as Vampirella, now it's like people get that stuff, but I mean, we used to appreciate beauty, right? And we used to that looks gorgeous. I mean, that's why I have this poster, and all these comics from all those times and stuff, and I got tons of it. Sometimes I don't know where my comic is that I'm looking for, that I'm after. I don't even know if I still have it, and it's like crazy trying to find these, But to hear about that, that's pretty awesome, because I mean, it's not just someone who just had a poster made of her. It's actually someone who actually part of of the scene. I mean, not part of the scene, but part of like almost like part of the company as as a model.
Yeah, I mean, in the credits page, it says based on the likeness of Kathy Christian, and I think co-created as well. I don't know how much she had to do with it, but she was, and then she was. It was funny seeing her as as Vampirella because she was a very Christian conservative woman. And to portray that character was strange, but she wanted to be a model, and that was her, the gig that she got, and she relished it and enjoyed it and was very cool with it. And I enjoyed her company very much. I thought she was very nice. I don't know what happened to her. She did end up marrying Tony Libido, and then they ended up eventually getting divorced, and she disappeared off the face of the earth. And I don't know what happened to her for the last 20 plus years. I don't know. She's just disappeared. So,
you mentioned Rob. You mean Rob Liefeld, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Just for those people who didn't know,
right? Yes.
Used to work with with Image, and
I worked with Image under Extreme Studios.
Yeah. All right. How are you doing? How's things? So that like the reason I was making more funny faces. I hate watching myself on screen. I find myself like I'm cringing at it, like myself hearing myself talk. So it's not it was nothing to do with John. I enjoyed talking talking to John and stuff. Yeah. But I just find I cannot help but react to myself in the cringe, being cringed at myself. But this is basically just come out this week. Must have been Thursday or Friday. The news came out because they've been trying to get Evangeline started since about 2016 when they were thinking about Rob was talking to friggin' Ronda Rousey, right? Oh no, sorry, Gina Carano as being Evangeline. And wow. So that was the last time they talked about this, and so everything went dead. There was nothing being talked about, and suddenly this pops off. Like you got Margot Robbie, Barbie girl, just $1 billion movie, and all that. Whatever she's gotten off, income off that. Maybe she had like a royalties. If this movie makes this much, I'll take this percent. And so when I looked at this, it's a $60 million budget has been allocated to this movie. And so I'm going to put this this little. I love this part where they put this on, so you can you can actually hear what they're saying. What it's been written. So let's have a listen to these guys. If I can get this.
Olivia Wilde, Margot Robbie to adapt comic Evangeline from Deadpool creator by Rebecca Rubin. Olivia Wilde, Margot Robbie, and X-Men producer Simon Kinberg are joining forces for a feature adaptation of Evangeline, a comic book character from Deadpool co-creator Rob Liefeld. Wilde, whose filmmaking credits include Booksmart and Don't Worry Darling, is attached to direct. Robbie's company Lucky Chap and her partners Tom Ackerley and Josie McNamara are producing. Kinberg, a writer and producer of X-Men tentpoles, will also produce the film. The project doesn't have a home yet, so the creative team will try to sell the film to studios and streamers in the coming weeks. It's unclear who will play Evangeline, an angel who fights the forces of evil and often finds herself face-to-face with demons and monsters. Rob Liefeld, best known for bringing to life the Merc with a Mouth, aka Deadpool, co-created the character of Evangeline in 1995. There were prior attempts to turn Evangeline into a big-screen star, but they never got off the ground. In 2013, Gina Carano was attached to star in an adaptation. In 2016, Paramount reportedly nabbed rights for a version from filmmaker Akiva Goldsman. Lucky Chap has been in high demand after the blockbuster success of Barbie, which was the highest-grossing movie of 2023 and nominated for 8 Academy Awards. Up next, the company is producing Wilde's new Christmas comedy Naughty for Universal Pictures. Lucky Chap's other major projects include the Oscar-winning dark comedy I, Tanya, and Emerald Fennell's features Promising Young Woman and Saltburn. It most recently backed the Sundance coming-of-age film My Old Ass, which sold to Amazon MGM Studios for $15 million.
So that's,
Next article.
Let me get rid of that.
By traumatizing years with Brian Singer.
So it's gonna, with the movie being like $60 million attached, that's not like a low budget quality, thing that they're doing here. They're actually doing something, something with prominence, right? Like high budget, the blockbuster budget stuff, which is good because, like, you want to see something of quality when it comes to comic books because there's so many comic books made. But this is not your A-list comic character. It's a beloved character in the indie scene, but it's not like it's not a big, big name character. So this is the company, right? So the Lucky Chap. So you got Barbie, Saltburn, Maid, Promising Young Woman, Birds of Prey TV show, the one that was really bad. But then you got I, Tonya, which is really good. Boston Strangler, Dollface, which is really good. That series. Your Terminal, was that what? I can't remember. Terminal. I think it was a takeoff on the. I know that's something else. So, yeah, Dreamland, Borderline. So many more movies, that we haven't heard of yet. But they're looking at also Tank Girl, Tank, which is another kind of like a B level, well loved character, right?
Oh yeah.
So they've also got writers attached to that and a director. So but to see, John was on Niobe Comics the other day, and I'll put a link in the chat about that, because talking about this, and about how you don't hear John's name mentioned at all in the whole thing of that. All you see is the guy who created it, but also, I mean, the fact is that John, did the artwork that everybody knows this is what she looks like, right? Because of John's work. And I think this is something that, like, I find that a lot of times, a lot of artists are kept out of the scene because, out of the limelight. But like people who know, and like, of them, the first thing you see is not the words on the page.
Right.
You see the color, you see the way the character looks, and the design of it, and like, I'll put the link in the description later.
Well,
but what John was talking about, all of that. Carry on.
My opinion on on artists becoming famous, right? And the reason that we know Rob Liefeld over John, because he produced so much and it was so different than what we were used to in comic books. And then everybody kind of adapted a similar art form that kind of carried on through. And then you get into, the early to mid 2000s. And then because I didn't know who Jim Lee was until he started doing Batman.
Exactly.
And then when he started doing Batman, it was like, oh my goodness, Jim Lee this, Jim Lee that. And then everybody started looking back at his other stuff. So I think what happens with the artists, their work is when they do something different or that's not necessarily different, but just a lot. They're thinking outside the box, right? When Todd McFarlane, I love Todd McFarlane drawing Spider-Man. Yeah, I love watching him draw Spider-Man because the webbing that Spider-Man is shooting out it looks just organic. It looks kind of like it's tangled up in a mess, which would kind of make sense if you're trying to, catch the webbing while you're swinging and stuff. I mean, it just makes sense. And it looks like it looks fantastical and has elements of realism in it at the same time. And it's just kind of, it's just such a cool thing. And we weren't really talking about McFarlane until he did Spider-Man. But before that, he did Batman Year 2. And when you look at the Batman Year 2 stuff, the way Batman's cape flows out is just, it looks gorgeous and amazing. And that's the difference. And, so as our comic book artists, all of them are talented. All of them are really good, especially if they're getting stuff done and they're being hired. It's great. But why do we recognize one versus another? Like and I'll come back to my favorite character, Conan the Barbarian. There is
Yeah.
some great artwork of Conan the Barbarian. And when you look back at Frank Franzetta's Conan the Barbarian, he didn't do a lot. He did a bunch of Conan, but compared to
Yeah.
what's out there, he did very little. And but everybody goes back to Frank Franzetta. Oh, he did some really good Conan stuff, you know. And that's my opinion. I think it's just occasionally something, an artist will do something and they do normal work the whole time. They're just paying their bills. And then all of a sudden they draw something that just looks fantastic. So out of this world. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, who's this guy? Let's go look back at his artwork. And then everybody goes back and checks it out, So it's a finicky type of a profession, and you're people have to like it for you to be successful.
That's what it comes down to. Like, I mean, like one of the things, like, I mean, because I work with so many artists, right? I like with the work we do, and each one of them have their own style, which is why I choose them, because I want each story that I write to be different from any other story, because based on that work. So we've got one here from like James T. Hill, right? And he's working on this one, so you can see his work, and his style. And we've got him doing like covers for almost all the comics that I put out. I always ask them for a variant cover, because all our cover B is always going to be one of his works, because we like cover A to be the original, the artist who's doing the inside work. And so you get to see his work coming out, and it's just such a to be able to have so much talent available now, and to see their work on this. Every time I get a page, I'm like so excited, because it's so it's such a great because I see my work, right? I write down some text, and now that text has been it's turned into a panel, like here, right?
Oh yeah.
You get this awesome little panel from the whole page, and there's this little panel there. And I'm like, just look at that, and I'm like, it's just exciting. And
let me go ahead and keep talking about that. I got to step aside for just a second, okay?
Right.
I got to take care of something back.
Sure. So there's another one, another artist that I've been posting images of our artists, because it's I've been busy, because like I haven't been able to do any, because of my back, I haven't been able to do any sort of like live streaming and talking about that. So I've been posting and promoting our our artist works. So one of the most recent sort of work I'm working on is putting out I'm waiting to put out this comic called The Tortoise, chapter 1, volume 1, of volume 1, issue 1, right? We're doing it as a manga, so I'm calling it a chapter rather than an issue. So we're going to put out a 36-page chapter of this comic book. So I'm doing the back matter, writing in like the artist, who's the artist on it, the sort of like giving up like little images here, to show you the artwork that we worked on as a promotion piece, to see, working with the artist to design the characters. This is Amber here, right? The young girl, and then here's Amber, 22 years old, so you kind of like the necklace and stuff, the tortoise, and sort of being able to show you the artwork that's going to be coming out for issue 1, right? We're about to put that out as a digital. We're releasing this comic as a whole manga, so 4 chapters altogether as a manga, but also releasing it as a single issue as well, right? So you can actually get single issues, all 4 single issues for collectors, right? As a at the same time, not waiting to go one. Well, one's available now, and then in 4 months there's another one. No, we're gonna like put these out together as a whole pack, and so you can either buy it as a manga book, black and white, or with a volume, like a single issue set with variant covers, wraparound covers, original covers, so on, right? And we've got the first issue already done, and not safe for work covers, or safe for work covers, right? Because we want to offer both for American, in a sense, like American readers, as well as like releasing it as a Spanish language, as well as an Portuguese, right? So you can read in 3 different languages: Portuguese, Spanish, as well as in English, right? So covering that whole 3 sort of reader bases, because I recently found out that, like, manga is huge in South America. So, that was quite surprising to me. It was something that I wasn't thinking about, but we had a guest on our from Australia who was creating a comic book, and was going to go into Kickstarter. And one of his Spanish friends basically said, "Hey, I'm not sure, from South America. I can't say she's Spanish. So when are you going to put it into Spanish?" It's like, why? What, you don't want to read in English? And then we're talking about that. And I was like, yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's a good thing. And so, because I've got an artist who's done the other artist who's working on the other chapters we're going to do, he's going to take over and do the entire book soon. He's doing that now, but he's doing chapters 2, 3, 4, and then come back and do chapter 1 again. So it's all his book, his art style. But this one, we got to release chapter 1 because it's already been done as digital, to give you kind of like so we're going to do that for all 4 chapters. We're going to release it every time it finishes as a chapter in digital, and then go take the whole thing, probably by the end of the year or New Year, to Kickstarter as a whole book. That way, it's we're going to be able to 3 languages, so 3 reader bases, audiences, fandoms, right, countries, whatever, as well as for manga, as well as for American with single issue as well. So it's kind of a big project, and so we're going to treat it like a big project, because we've got such amazing talent working with us, and we want to showcase that. Of course, the artist on here for for the entire book is TC Rocher, who will be on our live stream tomorrow morning, early in the morning in New Zealand. I'm not sure what time it'll be in the US. I think it's about midday. So we'll be talking to him tomorrow. So yeah.
What time is it there right now?
Right now it's 3 in the afternoon. So let me find our homepage, so I'll be able to show you exactly what time he'll be on. It's Monday, so it'll be a Sunday, right?
It'll be Monday for you, Sunday for us. So right now it's 10 p.m. here in Texas.
Right. So where are we? So 2 days. Oh, sorry, 2 days, I should say. Let me. I'm wrong there. So not tomorrow, the day after. So this is the link for that here. So he did the cover for us as well as the new art for that book from chapter 2, which is chapter 1. Sorry, I should say. This is included in chapter 1, so people get to see what his artwork will be for chapter 2 onwards. So there's a link for that. So that'll be in 2 days' time.
Oh, cool.
He's actually in Italy right now. With his, he's there in Italy, and so we get to that's why it's so early, because it's in Italy, and so it'll be he's a great guy. I enjoy talking to him. It's Skyping, right? We basically talk just about every day, because we get to see his work come out before now with the digital, but also we also get to see his work as a variant cover for
that's pretty cool.
For Robot Nation. So quite excited about that. So so that's the thing about like the Evangeline movie. Like you got like Olivia Wilde,
Margot Robbie are looking. So from what I gathered on the interview, it looked like Olivia Wilde set to wanting to direct it, and Margot Robbie is either in talks of being her or being a producer of the movie. It's pretty neat, So I got a question for you. Movie. They just announced who they cast as the Silver Surfer in the new Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that?
Yeah, let me bring that up. So, this is the problem with like the whole agenda thing, and people are like, oh, but she's in there. But it's for me, like, where is it? Comics, movies. Where are you? oh gosh, I think I saw it earlier. So how far back? Oh, here we go. And it's the same thing, right? It's always about the agenda. For me, like, I don't really care anymore about this. It does, you know, when I saw it, it's like, this is why I own my own stuff, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, this sort of stuff is just, you know.
Well, my biggest problem is, you know, I'm kind of with you now. I'm just tired of I'm tired of talking about it and tired of seeing it. So it just proves the point that everybody that all the complaints about this kind of stuff is truthful, is true. There's if there was an overabundance of just ignoring female characters in the Marvel universe and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, for that matter, I could kind of understand this, but there's no rhyme or reason, in my opinion, for this. I think it's just pandering to the audience. It's just pandering to the feminists of the world. And my commentary on this is like, you know, what if we did the same thing with, I was actually going to comment on it, Evangelina, right? Oh, is Evangelina going to be played by Brad Pitt? I mean, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, right?
Yeah.
Is that going to be okay?
Yeah.
Of course it's not going to be okay, because it was a woman character. You know, come on, guys. You know, there was a whole purpose of it being, you know, it's not important that he was a man or female, but they wrote him as a male. They wrote it as a male. There's other Heralds of Galactus that are female. There are other powerful characters in this Marvel Cinematic Universe that are female.
Yeah.
Do we just ignore those?
But they want to pick on an obscure female Silver Surfer character, right?
Right.
For that one little thing, because they did it. And this is why I think you have to, you know, if you're a creator, stop doing this, right?
Stop doing this.
Stop tokenizing your own original character. Stop trying to make it a female character when you're writing it.
Why is it that nobody had a problem with John Stewart's Green Lantern? Why? Because it's a different person than what was there. I don't know if this is different if this is the same, essentially the same character that the Galactus pulled from the planet to be the Herald. I'm not that familiar, but but I'm not sure. It's just kind of make her lame and make her gay.
This is basically what it is. Like, you know, this is exactly what it is, and everybody gets it. You know, Elon Musk said, like, this is where we're at with this. And but here's where I was going to go, and like from that, right? So we know this is where this is all about. And so one thing, the next stage for this is, let me find you this really awesome little thing that happened with the Disney shareholders.
Oh, okay.
Because Disney shareholders are tired, right? So this is from Valiant Renegade. Very good, dude. I mean, like, commentator, right? Very smart. He's part of, he's got his own channel. I think it's like that Park Place, right? I think they're part of that. Let me just see. Park Place. But yeah, so this is like a really short 7-minute video, and from so rather than have real people speak and ask questions or answer, they had a computer, they had an AI do this, because it's gotten to a point like, if you are going to disagree with us, we'll just replace you with an AI, right? So
the board of directors has recommended a vote against this proposal for the reasons set out in the proxy statement.
I wonder why.
The next item is a shareholder proposal by the Educational Foundation of America.
We'll explain all these later.
The full text of the proposal is set forth in the proxy statement. I understand that Laura Nixon is here to present this proposal, and I would like to invite her to do so. I would ask that she limit the presentation to 2 minutes at most.
Your line is open, ma'am.
Good afternoon. The Educational Foundation of America is a long-term investor in Disney stock. We're asking Disney not to just disclose its political contributions, as they have been doing, but to account for them, to demonstrate the company's spending is rational, strategic, and producing a positive return on investment. Disney's odyssey through Florida politics in the last several years demonstrates as to why this kind of reporting is needed. In recent years, Disney contributed over $100,000 to an administration that took aim at Disney's employees, mocked the company's values at a national level, and then punished Disney by diminishing its tax breaks and degree of self-governance.
Oh, listen
There
to
are
this
other
crap.
examples that raise questions about Disney's political spending patterns. Our company has supported politicians working against progress on climate, even as extreme heat days steadily climb in the Orlando area and Paris, and fires
my.
rage in California.
Global
It's
warming
tied
in
to
Orlando.
efforts
Okay.
to promote women to leadership positions within the company, but nearly 3/4 of Disney's political contributions went to anti-choice politicians in Florida in the 5-year run-up to 2022's 15-week abortion ban. Next month, a 6-week abortion ban will go into effect in Florida. That is before most women even know they are pregnant. 1 in 4 women will have an abortion in her lifetime. Think of the harm to Disney's Florida workforce over the years to come. And finally, Disney has also supported politicians who promote the 2020 stolen election conspiracy theory. With this proposal, we believe it's time for Disney to provide accountability to shareholders that it's spending its political dollars wisely and in alignment with its core principles and interests. Thank you.
Who is that idiot?
The Board of
Florida is
Directors
run by
has recommended
Republicans.
a vote against this proposal for the reasons set out in the proxy statement. The next item is a shareholder proposal by the National Legal and Policy Center. The full text of the proposal is set forth in the proxy statement. I understand that Chloe Cole is here to present this proposal, and I would like to invite her to do so. I would ask that she limit the presentation to 2 minutes at most.
Your line is open, ma'am.
Good morning. I am Chloe Cole, patient advocate
Computerized.
that do no harm
AI.
in the medical profession. I am presenting proposal number 7 titled Report on Gender Transitioning Compensation and Benefits, sponsored by National Legal and Policy Center. Disney pays for gender transition interventions, but not detransitioning care. Therefore, the company discriminates based on gender identity under EEOC regulations. I speak from personal experience as someone who was deceived and physically harmed at a young age by gender ideology, validated by the medical industry and pushed to the masses by corporations like Disney. Influenced by modern media and social networks, I began a transition to male at age 12. By age 16, after practitioners I trusted encouraged me to take puberty blockers and get a double mastectomy, I tried to come back to reality, but it was too late.
Reality.
My body has been irreversibly damaged, and years later, my chest is still in
Chloe.
bandages. My doctors have abandoned me. You doctors look and shrug. As a result, I am suing those professionals who steered me into taking these destructive steps that have permanently scarred me. But Disney, in its arrogance, has responded to our proposal by stating that I am only trying to generate attention for a limited agenda.
Oh.
Mr. Iger, Disney, under your watch, is pushing the limited agenda of gender ideology. Disney has become the Ursula that is stealing the voices of thousands of little Ariels across the world by telling us that we can be something that we can never become. The lawsuits are coming, sir. It's only a matter of time. Current or past employees whose bodies and lives have been irreversibly harmed will show up at your door looking for justice and
I hear background noise
I
from
agree with Chloe.
from
Please
somebody,
vote for proposal
not
number
us.
7.
Maybe the
The
caller.
Board of Directors has recommended a vote against this proposal for the reasons set out in the proxy statement.
Piss on
The
you,
next item
Disney.
is a shareholder proposal by the National Center for Public Policy Research. The full text of the proposal is set forth in the proxy statement. I understand that Scott Shepard is here to present this proposal, and I would like to invite him to do so. I would ask that he limit the presentation to 2 minutes at most.
Your line is open, sir.
So I
Thank you.
want us to stop there for a
Corporations
second.
by
because
law must avoid.
I didn't realize it was Chloe speaking. Chloe is amazing. She's someone whose life was destroyed because of this whole, gender affirmation thing. And she's like, basically now is helping and speaking out against this happening to children. Because she was a child, she was forced into this. And that's why, like, I'm like fully, I fully back her. I fully am against transitioning children before 18, because I feel like you're destroying lives even before they're able to understand who the hell they are. Kids, like, I don't know who I was until later in life, right? And so if I had somebody just go, oh, this is who you are, then like I would be Chloe right now, right?
Right.
And saying, hey, you've ruined my life, and now I'm going to sue the hell out of everybody else who actually did that. And so I'm like, yeah, I don't agree with this. And, that's why I'm part of the, that's why I support Gays Against Groomers, because I think, they understand what can happen because of the so-called, what I believe, right, is a social media enforced corruption of children by adults, right? Especially males. Male adults are doing this. And most of the young kids that have been thinking in these groups where male adults, they're not females that are pushing this, it's male adults, pedos and groomers are in these groups telling and pretending to be kids, and and teenagers are telling these young kids that this is what you need, because now you become a target for their fetishism, right? Their kinky ideologies, right?
Right.
And I just find that abhorrent, to be honest. And I'm fully, hate that shit. But yeah, I didn't realize
Well,
I was Chloe there.
the whole gender swapping thing is just such a farce in itself right now. You trying to force me to adhere to your delusion.
That's basically it.
I don't care if you chop your penis off and transfer something into something that resembles a vagina, and you grow, put boobs on. You're just a dude with no penis now. That's all I see. Do I think these people need to be treated less than human? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But you don't have the right to force me to adhere to your delusion, because you're delusional. Yeah. You're a guy. You're a man. You're a man that decided to do this to yourself. You're a woman that decided to do this to yourself. I don't participate in your delusion. Just like,
if you're an adult doing it, right? If you're an adult, go live your best life the way you think.
Do whatever you want to do.
Don't mess with the kids. And this is what I hate about Disney, right?
Right.
They think they have the right to enforce that BS using their billions of dollars, and and I mean that in the sense of billions of dollars, because they have the advertising revenue, they have the media entertainment thing that they can push that agenda, and they've said it. That's what they're doing, right? And that's what they've been doing, and they've been destroyed on TV, in their streaming. They've been destroyed on film, right? Like, they haven't made anything that's of value to the community for the last 5 years, right? Like, you look at all their movies they put out, got destroyed by people. And I've said this the other day, on a stream when I was doing, that 70% to about 60%, or of the world is traditional family value, right? They're very conservative, if that's the way you want to say it. They're conservative, right? Because they're traditional family value. Keep your hands off my family. I know what's best for my children. We are family, your mother, father, children, right? And this is the way we're going to do things. Now, when you have a company like Disney coming out and going, hey, we know what's best, and we're going to put this sort of agenda into our storytelling, when we've always been about enforcing and trying to create good family stories where parents are seen as the good people, and that we want to show the kids that you should be in a good family, and what's bad is, like, if there's something, we just want to tell good stories where it's wholesome, that you can just sit your kids down and go away and not worry about it. But Disney went the other way. we're going to tell you how to now, treat your children. We're going to tell you how you should raise your children, what you
Right.
should do with them, and we're going to enforce that through our entertainment.
Yeah, it's sad. It's such a sad thing. Used to be a time when you'd sit in front of the TV to watch the Disney Channel, and you did not have to worry about any of this woke messaging. It was just fun, family entertainment. That's it. There's no necessarily an agenda that was being pushed or any of that stuff. It was just nice, fun entertainment. And now it's a whole different world. And it's a whole new world to turn one of their songs, but it's just sick. I lived in Orlando, Florida for almost my entire life.
Right.
And my brother worked at Disney for a few years when he was younger, and the way that they treated the cast members back then, they didn't treat them poorly. They really didn't. They hired people to do a certain job, and they got a lot of benefits. Not necessarily, I don't know what kind of health benefits he enjoyed when he was full-time. That's none of my business. But I'll tell you what, 80 to 90% of the employment that you got in Orlando, Florida, you didn't get a lot of benefits regardless of where you were working. But they were able to enjoy the park on their days off. They were able to bring family members into the park when they wanted to. But they were a cast. They were called cast members. They weren't employees, they were cast members. And they're playing a role. So their hair had to be a certain height. They couldn't have facial hair. They couldn't have tattoos, visible tattoos, and piercings and things like that. And the whole reason is Walt Disney wanted to create a fantasy world where you go in there and you escape from the real world. You're not reminded of what's going on in the real world. You're in this fantasy place, in this fantasy land. And by loosening up those restrictions, for lack of a better term, or those rules that they had, now I go in and I see some guy full on beard, ugly dreadlocks, and and just tattoos up to his arm. I have tattoos. I don't know if you guys notice this. I have tattoos. I got them all over the place. Tattoos. Right. But I understand that if I go to a certain job, I should be able to cover them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people that are.
The other thing is, like, now I also don't want to see a dude dressed up as a Disney princess.
Yeah.
Right. I just don't, because because it's like they say, like, it's sending a wrong message. But here's the thing. You're supposed to.
Let me finish one comment. Let me finish one comment. I'm sorry, I just got to finish it because when I was at Disney one time with my family, my kids, my two boys, saved up money, made sure I got the tickets for my two boys. We went to Disney World, and it was just a wonderful day. And this was before they started to implement all of this, loosen out all of the rules for dressing and dress code and stuff. And I was just like so happy. I was just so happy to be there that day. And we're leaving, and as we're leaving, we're on the tram on the monorail to go out to the parking lot, right? And on our way out to the parking lot, I can see the park and how beautiful it is. It's lit up, I can see some of the fireworks going off in the background, and it's just beautiful. And then I pass this. There's a wall that I pass through, and as I pass the wall, I see the real world all of a sudden. I see the parking lot. I see the truck. I see this, and I'm like, I'm no longer in that fantasy world. So it made me want to go back to that fantasy world at some point. It made me appreciate that fantasy that I was able to experience and to give to my children. And then the last time I was there, I run into people that are, a guy dressed as a girl that's, trying to serve me. I don't need that. I don't want my little kids to have to ask me that stuff.
Yeah. And I think that's what it comes down to is you don't want to confuse children, right? And And I've talked about this, previously. It's like there's this young kids don't need confusion. They're confused enough, right, when they're young, and you don't want to mess with them because we always understood we're supposed to protect them from the real world, right? That's the whole thing. We want to protect them while we can from the real world. Then, because when they come of age, they can go discover the world for themselves and decide for themselves what they want. That's why we say, like, after 18, you do what the hell you want. We accept that you're an adult. Now you can make adult decision. Until then,
and you get adult consequences. You get adult consequences when you become an adult. There we go.
So let's carry on with this, right? Let's see what's the next thing on here.
Avoid needless material risks. Maybe the most unnecessary come from partnerships with charities that push extreme, divisive, hot-button positions.
Here we go.
That no one honest would call core to the company's business, especially if the extreme positions appall most customers. Fiduciary duty requires honest, full review of likely objective risk and reward to the company. To skip or to fake this, or to proceed anyway, breaches fiduciary duty, and in this context, it loads risks on shareholders for the benefits only of the CEO and advancing his private obsessions. That looks like self-dealing to us. And does it sound familiar at all, Mr. Iger? A clever preteen could have told you that making Disney synonymous with force-feeding radical gender ideology to small school children and hiding it from the parents would send Disney's core audience flooding away. Maybe not forever.
And it did.
Through your death grip on power. Ditto for trying to destroy girls' chances to shine in their own sports, and on and on.
But you're getting your money's worth here.
Iger, you had to know all that. Heck, you hired and kept people who boasted they'd make Disney entertainment designed to drive away Disney's core audience. Thing is, though, Bertolt Brecht wasn't a business guru, as the Iger era disaster displays. It violates every single CEO duty to dissolve a corporation's uber loyal customer base, then try to convene a new one submissive to your extremist niche worldview. We hear you once wanted the White House and to go down in business history. I think the latter's sewn up, but maybe not the way you hoped. So yeah, let's have an audit of your partnering record. Count up the unnecessary risks that just happen to push your private agenda, and hope that brand new faces sit in your places to start to assess the damage and responsibility. Fiduciary duty does not endorse the Iger record.
Oh, God.
Oh, I wish I was on screen.
Woo!
The board of directors has recommended a vote against this proposal for the reasons set out in the proxy statement.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
So that is that. And I want to put up a image, a photo I took myself, right? A couple of weeks ago. Oh, well, 2 weeks ago. And this is the value of Disney in New Zealand. And that's what I can see it as, right? So, I mean, that's what I reckon, right? So, it doesn't want to go up. So, can't even get rid of it 50% off. Their 100-year celebration stuff, right? That's been sitting there for about a month. Mandalorian, there's a figure that's about $30, $5. You can't get rid of it at $5 at a department store. All right. There's one line. There's about freaking 20 of them that was just there. It went down from like 25 or something, then went to 15, then went to 10, then went to 5. That's New Zealand $5. So that's $3 US. You can't get rid of a 3-inch whatever figure for $5 or $3 US, right? But this is GameStop for New Zealand, EB Games, Electric Boutique, whatever.
Electric Boutique, yeah.
Yeah, so GameStop, they got a whole friggin' thing there, and they couldn't get rid of it. And at 50%, right? Not only are their movies getting destroyed with nobody watching them, the DVD sales non-existent because they stopped doing DVDs now, right? Because they don't want to do physical media. Now their merchandising that's supposed to represent 100-year anniversary of the most supposedly not anymore family-friendly product in the entire world, Who does not know Mickey Mouse? You know Mickey
Right.
Mouse in every single country in the world. You know Disney in every single country. I even know a friend of mine's daughter is a cast member. Was a cast member. I'm not sure if she still is in Disney, right? That's all she ever dreamed of, being a Disney princess. Now she's there. And so if you look at it, like during COVID, they fired something like about 1,200 of them. And then they went and gave like $1 million bonuses to the executives at the same friggin' time, like they needed that money. So anybody who's actually still thinks that Disney is a family friendly or care about their own workers is part of a cult, because they've drunk the blue milk, right, from Star Wars, right, because they think it still is a good thing. It's not. The rest of the world saying it's not. That 70% of the world, I'm saying, that are traditional family based, they basically say, we don't want Disney no more. We don't care. This isn't for us because we have a traditional values. You look at Asia, you look at Middle East, you look at India, you look at South America. All those people are just not interested, right, in Disney, because they can't even move a friggin' product. Or sell a freaking movie ticket.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of, if you can't sell a movie ticket to an animated movie that's taken you 5 years to make, that you have put all these merchandising around, then you have failed.
Yeah.
You should change your direction, because you're supposed to be making money and about your shareholders. And listening to the shareholders say, we don't want this anymore, stop doing it. I'm a shareholder myself in certain things, right? Not in Disney. And if my shares are going down, I'm going to start complaining. How do I build my shares back up, right? Because I want value in what I'm putting into something.
Yeah.
And that's what the shareholders are going. Why are they doing this to themselves, right? Why is Bob Iger and any of those people going, hey, you know what? We're losing money, so let's keep losing money.
Yeah.
Because it's not their money at the end of the day, right? It's the shareholders' money.
And I really don't understand. I don't understand their process. I don't understand what the end game is for them to do this, to completely just shut everything down. And, and you saw in that video, it didn't really matter what the shareholders complained about. They didn't talk about it. It was struck down before it was even voted on. Like that's great. Well, we got to hear it, but then, still just got pushed down, So,
well, like I said, it's not their money. It's a shareholders' money. It's a shareholders' money that's in backing, that's keeping this company alive. If the shareholders tomorrow decide, you know what, I'm taking all my shares out.
Yeah.
It'll fold because there's no value in that company anymore. And so it will be now Bob's money, whatever he's got. And this is why, like, everybody was pissed off when, the last holders who had hope, fans who had hope in George Lucas going, hey, let's back Peltz, right? The guy who was coming in. Let's back him and and Elon Musk, let's try to change the ship, right? And get away from the whole, the same old, changing characters, changing, the ideology of this whole thing, getting away from the agendas, and, getting back to what made Disney great and made it into this multi-billion-dollar company that's, got parks in, what's like France and in China, and because they saw value in it. Now there is no value in it, because anybody that would find value in it is basically say, yeah, my kids aren't watching this.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to have anything to do with it because I don't want my kids seeing that stuff.
No, I don't either.
Hey, Nathaniel, thanks for coming on, man. Nathaniel does this show called Secret Spins. It's really awesome. I've been talking to him recently. He's also a comic fan. So thank you, man. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I know all they care about is destroying. Like, at this point, all you can think about is, there's nothing else but ruining something that isn't there. So maybe they want to destroy the whole Walt Disney and build it up as Iger, right? You know, Igor World, whatever.
It blows my mind away, you know. I remember the times with Michael Eisner and the stuff that he was doing, and then they, you know, the board of directors just, I mean, he was just all of a sudden he was just gone. I don't know if he retired or if he just stopped being whatever, but all of a sudden he was just gone. And then, you know, but I would tell you what, I'd rather have Michael Eisner in there now than this guy. And it's sad because it's very close. It is really close to my heart because I lived in that area for so long. And it's just sad. It's just really, really sad that they're doing this to those parks and to that company. They went through a time period, if you don't remember, in the 70s and 80s when they were doing movies and they were not making any money. They just weren't making any money at all on their movies. And now we're after the Marvel Cinematic Universe bubble is about to burst. It's deflating rapidly right now. They're going to go into another depression, basically, of their entertainment, and let's just hope that it doesn't just destroy them completely, because Disney employs quite a few people in the state of Florida. They employ quite a few people. There's a lot of money that comes into the state of Florida because of Disney World. There's a lot of money in there, and people think, you know, well, let's just kill Disney off and let it die. Well, when you do that, there's a lot of things that are dependent on those Disney dollars for survival. And when it dies, if it dies, you're gonna have Orlando turn into something that it looks like that reminiscence of Detroit when the car industry left. And it's going to be horrible. It's going to be terrible.
Well, the thing is, like, Disney can't leave. The only thing they can do is destroy the business, right? They can't pack up and leave because it's such a big
no, that's
place.
what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they leave. I'm just saying that they, let's say tomorrow, Disney goes bankruptcy, has to close down half the parks, lay off half their workers. So people don't understand. Yeah, those Disney workers, that sucks for them. But also all of the hotels that are surrounding Disney, all of the restaurants that are around Disney, all the gift shops that are around Disney, all of the other entities that depend on the tourism of Disney to survive. You've destroyed it. Florida is lucky that it has the coasts and the beaches and things like that. And they have another big theme park over there that seems like they're not going super woke. But on the same token, you know, it will be very bad economically for Disney World, or for Florida. I'm sorry. So
but also for Disney World as well. Like, if you really think about it, that's where people see where Disney World is. Right? They travel all the way from across the world to go there. Like, everybody's, you know, dream is to go there. Like, every child's dream is like, I never had that dream myself because it's just not my thing, you know, to go anywhere for the reason of entertainment. I just want to see the land. I want to go to Machu Picchu because of what it is, you know, for architecture and all that. And then also go to Japan for the culture, right? But not theme parks have never been a thing for me, but but what you're saying about how the business side of things, right? Because I was like, when we were running our plunge convention here, I know that when we run our convention, $15,000 comes into the city, right? That wasn't on that day. That didn't come, right? Because people come in to eat, they pay for petrol, they come in to visit, so that's all that stuff. Then they go do their shopping that they normally wouldn't. So they time it to be that day that they come to shopping. They buy drinks, then they come to the thing, they buy other material, what have you, right? They don't just buy from my stuff, merchandise that we sell from our part of things. They buy for everybody else. So there's a lot of, and just for a little couple hundred people coming to our event. And then then if you got bigger events, look at C2E2, whatever, Emerald City, all that stuff. All those events bring in monies that wouldn't come to that city. And so, when you're slowly eroding the value of the product the way they're doing right now, you're eroding people's long-term belief in your product, right?
Oh, yeah.
The people that are growing up with this, there's a whole generation now growing up will go, yeah, I remember when Dad was watching, it's like, and I saw that, it's like, we never stop, so my kids aren't watching that either.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's how it works, because like if you as a child love that, you share that with your kid as you grow older. When you have kids, it's a generational thing. So imagine the generation after us that are young kids that are right now, they won't be in love with Disney afterwards because they're not watching those movies, because their parents are not taking them to those movies. Their parents are not sitting down and saying, hey, watch this. The parents are going, yeah, watch Snow White from the 60s or before. That's
30s.
when it was good,
Yeah, I agree. And unfortunately, it won't get better until it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Oh, I'm not even sure if it's going to get better. They had a chance here with Lucas to side with with Peltz and with Elon and go, hey, look, can we ride the ship? They had that one chance. So they played dirty politics, right? They tried to say, oh, we got all the votes in to get them people to on site. And, people got sore for that. But like, when you really think about it, the cultists in Disney's still going to stick with Disney. They're too, it's same with Marvel, right? People who have been reading Marvel comics every Wednesday will still read it no matter how good or bad it is.
Well,
right?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not selling anymore. I'm hardly selling any Marvel comic books anymore. I've gotten to the point now. I only buy what I know people are going to want to look at.
Right.
And I just don't, in the comic shop that I went to when I was still in Florida, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books still on the shelves from months ago.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, you thought this was popular, and it's just not popular. Marvel's bubble has burst.
Yeah.
You've had 3 Marvel movies that have failed this year.
Yeah.
Or last year. And now we're coming in with Deadpool, and we're hoping that Deadpool will help things out.
Yeah.
By introducing the X-Men and all that stuff, but there is still.
But then you've got just as we were looking at, you got the plus there, but then they come with the negative straight after, right? With that whole, with the whole, and I know people are going to go, oh, blah, 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 but really think about it. This is a negative. This is a negative to them. They can say whatever they want because
bad.
all the good they had with Hugh Grant coming, Hugh Grant, what's his name? Wolverine, right?
Hugh Jackman,
right? That was all good news because we knew that Ryan Reynolds and him were going to be perfect, and it's a plus. It's like boom, yes, where everybody's interested. X-Men 97, everybody's interested, and you know what? So you guys are all interested in that. That's really cool. You love us now. Now we're going to give you this, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to give you NORAD, whatever his name is, right? But we're going to give you this version instead. You were hoping for the other version, right? But
Norrin Rad, was it Norrin Rad or something like that?
Yeah, I've never been for myself. I've never been a big, huge Silver Surfer fan. Like I'm an X-Men fan, and that's always been my thing. I kind of became a fan of friggin' Avengers because of the movies, but I still won't. I have the comics, but I don't read them, right? But I'm a mutant fan. But you had 2 hits to your side. You had X-Men 97, and you had Deadpool 3, and now you've just decided, well, you know what? Screw that. We're just going to give you a female Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. Oh well,
Yeah.
whatever it is, I guess I guess it is a different character. That's fine, but
The
you know
cult is
why? You know why?
the
You know why
cult.
the comic? You know why the comic shop guy and the
Yeah.
guy that's been into comic books for the last 40 years has never heard of this character? You want to take a guess on why I haven't heard this character? She's not
'Cause there's a
popular. She didn't do well.
yeah.
So the same thing's going to happen with this movie. It's not going to do well.
Yeah,
It's
but
going to
like my
suck.
friend said, right? Like my friend said, when it doesn't do well, we the fans will be blamed, right?
Oh
It's
yeah.
our
It's going to be
fault.
our fault. It's going to be
Yeah.
well. You're lucky. You're lucky. You're not the same complexion that I am. You're gonna slide by the blame. It's me. It's the white American males that are going to be blamed for not liking this, and that's fine. We can take it.
Yeah, and the other thing I was like thinking, where's my Silver Surfer? I've got a Silver Surfer here somewhere, with a surfboard, Marvel Legends somewhere. I can't see where he is, but I'm not going to be running out to get this, get this character that nobody's ever heard of. And the weird thing is the Marvel cultists, right, are amazing. They will go out and dig up because like last year, like about 2 minutes before this was announced, they had no idea who this character was, right? They never spoke about this character. This is how cult-like this Marvel thing is. Nobody knew who this character was until they announced it. Then they had to do a Google search. Oh, I'm a fan of this now. Now you should love this character.
Well,
it always happens.
You bring it back. Let's rewind it. Nearly almost 10 years now, right? 2017, 2019, right? We had Avengers Infinity War and we had Avengers Endgame, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. But when you read the source material that this movie was based off of, if they would have gone with the source material, it'd have been 10 times better. Now, after the fact, after everybody rediscovers the source material on why Thanos snapped out everybody in half of the population, in the original source material, everybody's like, oh, we should have gotten that. This is garbage that we got now. I would have gone on a limb with everybody that's really buzzed and hyped about, nostalgia and that kind of stuff. I'd have gone and gotten Lawrence Fishburne to redo.
That was in my head, man.
The Silver Surfer.
I was like,
that's what I would have done.
Because
everybody loved him as Silver Surfer. Everybody, and this was a terrible movie. The Fantastic Four 2, the sequel, it was horrible. The Rise of the Silver Surfer. But the best part was the Silver Surfer. He was awesome.
Yeah.
And why are we introducing Silver Surfer in the first place on this first one? Let's get Dr. Doom out there. Dr. Doom, oh my goodness. If you want a baddie, get Dr. Doom out there, dude. This is weird.
Well, I mean, when this make it like maybe do the third, right? Even though this didn't work that well, do part 3 because we're waiting for Galactus, right? Galactus was announced at what is it called? Kind of like teased at the end of it. And if you did it, I don't know why people don't like this movie. I kind of loved it. I thought it was.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie. I'm not saying I hated the movie, but when you really break it down, it's just they're just going after the really crappy version of Dr. Doom again. They show Galactus as just a cloud, so it's just kind of there were some really cool parts in the movie. I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I'm just really tired of the whole garbage crap. Hey, you're excited for Fantastic Four. Great. We got what's his name? I can't think of his name. Kaczynski playing Reed Richards in WandaVision. You're like, oh, that's great. And then we're like, well, no. He's going to be Pedro Pascal in this new one.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
That's the thing. That's the other thing. It's like, stop giving us what you think is going to work. right? We know
Let's give us what's going to work.
we like to see in those roles,
right?
You know,
Why are we using Pedro Pascal? Well, he's Mandalorian. You know, we have him right now
take
under
his mask off so we can
contract.
see him without his mask.
He's pretty cool, I guess. I'm not even a huge fan of Pedro Pascal. I don't think he's a great actor. You know, he got
wearing the
famous
mask
because
is
he
the
got
best
his,
thing about it.
Yeah. And he's, you know, I mean, that's got to be a primo gig as an actor, right? You know, oh, what are you going to do? Oh, I'm playing Mandalorian. Oh, that's awesome, man. How much shooting time do you go? I ain't got to shoot a little. I only got to shoot like 3 scenes, you know, and then I'm out.
Yeah, and
all I got to
sit
do
there
is
and
just
the
do voiceover
voices.
for the rest of the time, you know. Oh wow,
it's perfect. And they make toys based on me and everything. It's like, great.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, that's why, like I said, like I've walked away from Marvel. It doesn't bother me anymore. I'm just happy doing my, creating my own comic books, writing and just creating these IPs, owning these IPs, so that, and then in my, having, holding the copyrights to them so that nobody can change them, right? Making sure that they never ever get changed. Otherwise, they don't get made. I'd rather none of them get made to anything. I'd rather they just stay as a comic book than ever be allowed to be made into any other medium, right? Because what's the point if somebody decides to change them? So it's the
well,
it's just,
it is kind of here's the thing: is Disney bought Marvel, they bought 20th Century Fox, so now it doesn't matter what ownership you had. They bought Star Wars. It doesn't matter what George Lucas had. It doesn't matter what George Lucas really doesn't matter what George Lucas wants. Disney gets to do whatever they want with their new toy. They get to do whatever they want with it. Back in the day when they were selling the licensing to these characters, then the owners had a little bit of say of what and how they were depicted on screen. Now they don't. So, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. That's all I can tell you. But it is 11 o'clock here, man. I have got to go to bed. I'm tired.
All right. So thank you for everybody that's watching us. This is our new time slot, 9 o'clock. And where you at? Texas, right? So it's 9 o'clock
Texas.
Eastern. Is it Eastern 9 o'clock? Or is it
Central.
So Central
9 o'clock Central time. Yep.
And it's 2 p.m. in New Zealand on Sunday. So that's Central 9 o'clock Saturday in the US, Northern Hemisphere, and 2 p.m. here in New Zealand. So I'm going to be back. I'm feeling a bit better with my spine, so I'm going to be coming back on soon and carrying on with another, live stream with my ceramic sculpture, and we're going to carry on for a bit, and we're going to go through some what I call political and pop culture sort of things. There's some really cool videos that we got. I put on while I'm watching, while I'm doing this, and it's. This one here is just about talking about music. I'm sorry, where to get music from? Must have been in my head. So just talking about toys and collecting and stuff to do with the whole pop culture sense of things. Stu, for you guys who don't know, is a comic shop owner. Sorry, not a comic shop, a toy shop, and Slice on game shop.
Comics,
and a whole bunch
toys
of
is a geek shop, man. It is everything that you ever want, and to scratch your nostalgia itch. It's a good shop. It's a fun shop, and our typically it'll be 9 o'clock in the evening on Central Time. The day may change a little bit based on what I have available. Just keep that in mind, because I have events and stuff going on all the time here, so we just try to schedule it before we get there. But that's my website. 121 Gigawatts Comics, Toys, and Nostalgia is my store, and it's if you couldn't tell, it's a Back to the Future theme. I don't know if anybody could tell that, but but keep on the lookout for the store that's going to be up there online, and you can order from anywhere in the world, all the way from New Zealand if you wanted to order something. So
So he's based in Borger, Texas. And
Borger.
so this
Yeah,
is
Borger.
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 Oh, it's Borger. I always thought it was
Borger.
Borger.
Yep, Borger. Yep. Yep.
All
It
right,
is
guys.
a tiny town.
We'll see you soon, and thank you. We'll catch you in about 2 weeks. We're doing this bi-weekly? What is that?
Bi-weekly or so. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll figure it
All
out.
right.
All right, man. You have a great night. God bless everybody. 1.21 gigawatts, comics, toys, and nostalgia. Signing out. Have a good night, guys.
All right, guys. Catch you later. Have a good week. If you don't see us later, but wherever you are, be well, be safe, and like always say, if you got a loved one next to you, give them a hug and kiss. Let them know that you care. And if you don't, if they're not close to you, get on Facebook, get on, wherever, social media, cell phone, give them a call or text message. Right? Let them know that you care. You don't know what there might be. They need a not kind word today or hello from you might lift their what is it called? Their heart up a bit. Yeah, the spirit up a bit. So thank you. All right, Stu, we'll see you guys later.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Bye.